Okay, so I decided to start this project, even though I need to get the tires and the wheels before I can do the sides of the body. There's a couple things that have to be done before any of that goes on anyway. The first thing I did was I cut some ride height blocks, and all they do is I just shoved them under the pinch rail until they tightened up, one in the front and one in the rear. And once I have that established, then I come over to this side over here, and I put a level on the back across the lip, measuring off the window so that it's at the same distance down from the glass. Put a level across there, and then I'll jack up on this side here. And because the floor is not 100% level, I want to level the car. I jack it up, and then I measure what the distance is here, and I cut a couple of ride height blocks for this side, and that just puts the car level so that I can use a level as a reference point for putting the pieces on the car front to back. Is not critical that it's level front to rear. I just had to establish a line so that I can run a string at the same angle so that I could work up from that string to establish the body line that has to match or be parallel with the rocker in this part of the car. So, I mean, you could set the car flat and do all that, but I'd rather have it setting close to what its eventual ride heights are going to be. So when I get the tires and everything, I'll put them on, and I'll have a pretty good idea where that's going to be. Now, it'll probably drop a little bit in the back. Has no weight in the back right now, no bumper, the deck lid and the rear seats and so forth are out of the car. So once the entire interior's in the car, the trunk lid's back on the car, all that extra metal's back on the car, it'll probably drop a little bit, but in the meantime, I wanted to concentrate and make sure that I had this is sitting at a particular angle that I can use as a reference. Now, I decided to start up here with the grill, and what I've done here is, you can see there's a radiator core support here. That's actually from the Dodge Magnum. I have one for the Dodge Challenger to carry the Dodge Challenger headlights. And so I put this one on as a base to actually hold the mechanicals behind it, the brake lines and the radiator and all that stuff, and the fans. And then I took this second one and mounted it out forward and then down to try and match the length that I'm going to need to get the look I want to get. I proceeded to go from there to start with working on building the grill. And how I ended up doing that was I made some patterns, and I used 3/8 DOM 049 wall tubing, DOM meaning drawn over a mandrel, and it shapes pretty well. And you can see that I created a perimeter piece here that goes all the way around and captures the lights. I leveled out these lights. I had to do some jiggering with the drill holes where these mount up, because these was a little sloppy. One of them was going uphill and one was going a little downhill, so I got them decked out level, and I put these pieces of angle aluminum on here to space this rod out away from the headlight and then above the headlight here, so that it doesn't make actual contact with it when all is said and done, because I wouldn't want that to be vibrating and clattering against the plastic housing. Once I got the basic shape based off the rendering of this area here for the grill, and the rest of this framework put in to create an outline, I filled these areas in with a little bit of sheet metal, which that'll all get some epoxy and then also some Bondo and then paintwork eventually. This is some honeycomb grill that I found online. It's just plastic grill work. It's kind of the elongated honeycomb. I went ahead and I welded some tabs on here so that I could secure this from the backside. Now all of this won't be seen, but once I add the areas that'll be hooded And also there'll be a deck coming out here that'll follow this line all the way around, so forth. Now the reason I started with this is because everything kind of keys off of this location. You know, the fender line has to play into this headlight location, and then all of the roll pans and so forth have to come down, and I have to see how that's all going to look. I mean, I just kind of winged it. Who knows if this is going to be 100% right. I just did the best I could as far as the distance off of the front and the wheel and so forth. I took some flat strap, 1/8 of an inch, bent that up, and just through bolted some existing holes in this radiator core and then this radiator core underneath. Under here, I've mounted to the end of the frame rail. This is a normal location for the sub bumper that comes across underneath the rubber bumper. It's a steel bumper, and I just put this plate in here and gusseted it and put this piece of 3/4 by 3/4, and I have a couple capture nuts so they can just screw it in through here. That seems pretty solid. So it gives me a base to start everything from. This with the grill on, I can start going back from here with my roll pan and my bumper structure and kind of establish a good line of sight to see if everything's going to work out, what the proportions look like from here. Hopefully it's in the right spot already and I won't have to redo this or pull it out any further, but if I have to, I have to. That's about it for now. Thanks.